Hi there, this is Dani, and the channel is You and Me Living Free, and I have a dilemma. So here's my situation. I left Yellowstone, headed into Idaho on my way to Oregon and Washington. I've done a lot of research as far as weather. I've been really keeping my eye on things, and it looks like for the next 4 days or so, everywhere I wanted to go, everywhere on my map and everything is literally going to be 90, 95, 100, 105. And so last night I was coming across from Yellowstone and spent the night in Idaho, but it was 99 yesterday and it's 100 degrees today here in Boise, Idaho. So I spent the night in a hotel. My minivan is, like all cars, is like just a little convection oven. No matter how much you do to try to minimize that, it's going to be hotter than it is outside, right? So I'm in a real dilemma. And so I'm in a couple of Facebook groups with other nomads. And so in one group, I posted like a general question about where I'm going to be headed and just to see if anybody wanted to maybe meet up or have any ideas about, cool pockets of air or maybe high altitudes or something that I could go in. Well, my plan tentatively was I could do last night in a hotel, and then I'm going to go to Crater Lake National Park, because on my weather app, the town that technically Crater Lake National Park is the address technically, I was getting it as a little pocket of area where the temperatures were not near as bad. I think it's like 82 or 84 today, and then it's in the 70s. And I was like, oh, that'll be my haven for a few days while I'll go there, and then I'll work my way up the Oregon coast into Washington once this heat wave runs its course, which it looks like it's got another 4 days or so. So that was my plan. Well, I woke up this morning and I looked at the weather for there, and all of a sudden it is very smoky, unhealthy air quality. And I see that there's this excessive heat warning, right, for the whole area of Washington and Oregon. It's more on the eastern parts and the central part. I'm going to try looking further out at the coast and looking at some of those towns and everything. I'm hoping maybe right on the water. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the research this morning, go back to my phone and my map and see what I can find out. And I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it goes. Just one of those things on the road, and this summer in particular of 2021 with all its many challenges. So we've got the heat, and then of course the fires and that smoke in the air in the place that I really wanted to go. So we'll see. I'll let you know when I find out. Here's a little view as I drive from the car. Look at this. Okay, this is Oregon. Every time I see pictures of Oregon from anybody, it's got the tall pine trees or it's got the rocky coast. It never looks like this. So I was driving through this all freaking day with the blinding sun and the heat just coming into the van. And I just wanted to show you a little piece of it. Maybe I'm just cranky. What can I say? 99 degrees, nice and breezy. Hey, this is Dani, and I am here with your update. What a challenging day. So I drove the car, headed toward Crater Lake National Park, and what I found is when I search for the temperature right there at Crater Lake, it's giving me a temp like 80 or 84, which is much better than 100 that it is here where I am. But every time I look for the places that are closest to there, even 15 miles or so away, that have BLM, that might have parking or free camping available, are literally like 20 degrees hotter, 10, 15, 20 degrees hotter than that. So Crater Lake is not going to be the respite that I was hoping that maybe it would. So I drove all day long in just in heat with the sun just glaring in the van windows and just not in a good mood. Just had a really rough day. And I was kind of feeling sorry for myself, which I know sounds so, part of the problem with all this whining and everything is talking about, I want to have authenticity and talk about the struggles. I also don't want to sound like this whiny face person who isn't, living the biggest dream they could have for their life right now, which I am, but it doesn't mean there aren't challenges. And there are always things that come up that challenge me. And today was a big one. And I stayed in a hotel room last night in Boise. It was 100 degrees. Right now I'm in Bend, Oregon. It's 97 degrees, and that's without the heat index. I'm sure the heat index is over 100 degrees. So Bend, Oregon is not a cheap place. It's pretty expensive. And I just felt that I couldn't go on driving and stuff. I was too crabby and had too much and too long of a day. And even though it is not in the budget at all, I just sprung for another hotel room. As you can see from this bedspread behind me, it's a pretty bad room. It's one of those like motel, I think you call it, where there's no indoor lobby or anything. Everything opens right to the outside. It's really, really dim in here. I'm sitting right in front of this window, but otherwise all the lights are super dim and kind of shady. It's got just a little bit of a smell to it, and I still paid over $150 for this hotel room. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to be in gratitude that I have someplace cool, because it is cool, the air is working. My next plan is to possibly hit Crater Lake National Park tomorrow on my way to the coast. The only place I have found where I can get any relief at all is literally on the coast, Highway 101, even Highway 5 or whatever it is that's, pretty close to the coast that runs up and down. No, those temperatures are in the 90s and sometimes in the hundreds here in Oregon and Washington. But right on the coast on Highway 101, there should be plenty of boondocking, and the weather is much better. So I'm thinking that I'm close enough now where I can maybe just skim Crater Lake, or I might even skip it and just get to the cooler weather, just get to the coast, because I need relief from this heat. So when we talk about this van life stuff, freedom is the name of the game, but at the same time, there are a lot of different constraints. And what I find again and again in life is like money is a big constraint. Money, it can solve so many problems, like being able to stay in a hotel right now. It's over my budget and I didn't want to do it, but I can do it, thank goodness, because I'm not really sure what I would have done otherwise. And to stay in a hotel room 2 nights in a row is kind of a big deal for me. Definitely not in the budget. I know I've said that before, but anyway, so I'm just trying to wind down. I'm trying to just relax enough where I can maybe work on a little video, maybe do some relaxing, do a little bit of planning and figure out where I'm going to go on the coast, how I can get to the coast as quickly as possible. And so this is just kind of one of those days in the life that has its significant challenges, at least for me. And I think some days, you're just less equipped, less ready to deal with things. And the heat is always one of those things that has gotten to me, I think, especially as a plus size person. I sweat a lot, but it's like if you're like a normal weight or whatever they would say, think about just wearing a coat, a heavy, heavy leaded coat, like everywhere you go. Like I have this extra layer all over me that's extra insulating, and the heat is tough, and it's tough for a lot of people. And so I'm also thinking about, people who are homeless, people who have no way to get shelter from the elements and from the heat and the smoke and the fires and everything, and feeling for them. And also that just puts my little whininess into perspective, you know, my challenges into perspective. Even though I'm not minimizing my challenges, I mean, they are real. I spent a fair amount of time crying in the car today just because I needed that kind of relief from the stress of just, you know, not knowing for sure where you're going to spend the night, not knowing for sure where you're going to lay your head, where you're going to be able to have protection and safety. And so it's kind of been a little bit of a theme lately. It's really coming home for me now. I can't wait to get to the coast. And so hopefully that will happen tomorrow. And then, you know, I'll just keep updating you. I'll keep, you know, doing my videos and letting you know where I am and telling stories. Okay, it's the next morning. I am leaving this crummy but served its purpose hotel. I'm going to start the day off positive. I am headed to the coast today. This is my third travel day in a row, and if you've seen some of my other videos like how to make travel days suck less, then you know travel days are not my favorite. I don't think they're anybody's favorite, right? They're what we have to do to kind of get where we want to go. I've done so many things to try to make them a little bit better, but I had one day that was like maybe 5 hours travel, and then yesterday was more like 7 hours, maybe 8 hours. And today should be right around 5 hours or so. And I'm headed straight to the coast. It's going to be 100 degrees here in Bend, Oregon today. And over on the coast, it should be in the upper 60s or 70s. I could just cry just thinking about how great that sounds. So I'm going to get myself some breakfast. I'm going to get myself some ice and some gas. And we are going to get on the road. Let's do this. I'm so ready. So as I was driving my second day, it finally started to look like the Oregon that I was kind of expecting. And I found this very welcoming. You could roll down my car window and smell the pines. I mean, is there anything better than that? Maybe, but probably not. Anyway, it was refreshing, and I could tell I was getting closer. It was starting to look like Oregon. One issue I have with Oregon, I'm just going to say right now, is the gas stations. They make an attendant pump your gas. You don't pump your own gas. And a lot of places it was like that, where there's no bathrooms there. You can't just do, it's like my normal routine. Come to a gas station, pump my gas, go inside, get ice, go to the bathroom. And they disrupted everything. But maybe I was just cranky. Okay, so this is what's going to finally cheer me up. Look at that. Look at that. I made it to the beach. I'm in Oregon. I'm on Highway 101. Made it to the ocean. And it's only like 67 degrees at the heat of the day right now. And I was just walking onto this beach, just crying my little eyes out. So happy to have made it. But now I'm going for a walk on this magnificent beach, and then I'm going to find somewhere to stay for the night. There should be some boondocking right here along 101. Within 10 or 20 miles, there's a couple of different spots, so I'm hoping to find something good, and I'll let you know. So just listen to these waves if you want to. Okay, I have just a minute of this. If you want to actually listen to the waves, I'll put it at the very end of the video, but first I'm going to tell you about the camping spot. Okay, this is right off 101. You just take off down this road. Any vehicle can do it. I'm fine in my minivan. You can see where the pullouts are. There's a car right there. There's a truck right there in one. And I just found a pullout just like that one and parked overnight. I actually spent 2 nights in this one because it was a weekend and I didn't want to try to find somewhere else. And so I'll show you the GPS for it. Here's the listing from iOverlander. And then, as promised at the end, 30 seconds of beach waves. Thank you for being here. I'll catch you next time.